So think about your life. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you say, what you're writing on these stupid forums. All these things that people are doing and not thinking about it. Sakarat al-maut, because it's like a drunkenness almost. It's like a stupor, and some people don't even know what's happening. And they're completely, they realize nobody can help them at that point. And they will all get there. Every tyrant will be there. Nobody escapes this. Nobody escapes this. So don't think any of these people are going to get away with anything they do. But you should be more concerned, and I should be more concerned about myself and yourselves than we are about these other people, because they're doing what they were created to do. But are we doing what we were created to do? فَرِيقٌ فِي الْجَنَّةِ وَفَرِيقٌ فِي السَّعِيرِ. And then, ذَلِكَ مَا كُنْتَ مِنْهُ تَحِيدٌ. That's what you were avoiding, because nobody wants to die. Somebody, Imam Zayd's, one of the people in New Jersey, he said, everybody wants to go to Jannah, but nobody wants to die. Al-mawtu tuhfat al-mu'min. Death is the gift of the believer. So we should want a long life because we're told to. You know, the Prophet said, don't desire death. He told us to ask for long life, which is proof this isn't a death cult. You know, this idea of people wanting to die. Even in Sahih al-Bukhari, he said, don't want to meet the enemy in battle. Like, that's actually a sickness. People that want to fight are not well. They're not well. It's a sickness. You know, all these people that want to go and kill people, these are sick people. They're unwell. And historically, it's always been difficult to get people to join that military. I mean, you have resistance to drafts. People don't like to go to war. Our species is not a species that actually, there's only, I think, 4 or 5 species that actually kill within the species. If you look at rams lock horns. They don't gouge another ram. They don't gouge another ram. If you watch cats fight, they don't use their claws when they fight each other. You know, they're very careful about that. So you can see that animals won't kill other animals within their species. Humans will suffer greatly from killing other people. A lot of trauma goes with killing people. If it's justified, it's a little different, obviously, but it's still, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يزال أحدكم في فسحة من ربه ما لم يسفك الدم. You will have, for want of a better translation, wiggle room with your Lord. You will have some negotiating room with your Lord as long as you haven't shed blood. And one of the Salaf asked Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, give me some knowledge, give me all of knowledge. Like, اكتب لي كتابا واجعل فيه كل العلم. The good question, impossible answer. So Ibn Umar, he wrote back, he said, write me something that has all of knowledge in it. And so he wrote him back, he said, al-ilm kathir, there's a lot of knowledge. But he said, but if you're able, he said, don't let your tongue speak ill of anyone. Don't misuse people's money. Don't eat any wealth that's not yours. And then he said, don't share in the shedding of any blood. Don't share in the shedding of any blood. Right? And then he said, and just mind your own business. You know, just do what you should be doing. Because min husni islam al-mar'i tarku ma la ya'nihi. If everybody did what they were supposed to be doing, because so many of us, people talk about things they can't do anything about all the time. Nothing they can do about, but they love to talk. One Arab told me, this is the first time I ever heard this word, so for the Arabic students, it's a good word. He said, we were talking about just in the Arab world, I noticed when I lived in one of the countries that they used to, when I'd go to the bureaucrat offices, you know, it's very bureaucratic. It's almost like a Dickensian type environment. You go in and these people they call them Synicures. That's a good Dickens word. Synicure is like a job where you don't have to do anything, right? Right? Doge. So I used to go there, and everybody all morning they would read the newspapers, and then in the afternoon they would talk about what they read in the newspaper. I'm not making this up. And I mentioned that to somebody. He said, "Na'am, yajtar hada kullu ijtirar." So I didn't know what ijtirar meant, but it's what the animals that chew the cud do. Like you chew, and then the bolus, they swallow it, and then they vomit it back up and chew it some more. And then they swallow it, vomit it back up, chew it some more. That's what he said. So he called that ijtirar, just chewing the cud. And we actually say that in English. We were chewing the cud, which means we were talking about things just, nothing important. Chewing the cud. Isn't that interesting? Language, humans. So there it is. After telling us every word is going to be recorded, death is coming. There's a relationship. وَنُفِخَ بِالصُّورِ ذَلِكَ يَوْمُ الْوَعِيدِ. Again, wa'id. That day, Yawm al-Wa'id, the day of judgment. The blast has happened. The first one and then the second one. And then, وَجَاءَتْ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَعَهَا سَائِقٌ وَشَهِيدٌ. Every soul comes, with it is a sa'iq and a shaheed. So the sa'iq is yasuquka min khalf, is what we call in English a driver. So, and that's why we say driver for a car, but driver is originally like for people that herd animals, drivers. They're the ones that herd the animal. So there's a driver, these angels that are driving you. There's nothing you can do. You can't make U-turns here. You have to just go where you're meant to go. So there's a driver, and then there's a shaheed that has all your information. And the miracle of our time, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ. We will show them our signs in the self and on the horizons until it becomes clear to them that this is true. This recording, everything being recorded, everything. And we're told, who could have thought of that? And now we have all of this, all your phone calls are recorded. There's supercomputers that analyze all this. Everything's being recorded. But our Prophet ﷺ told us everything's being recorded. I gave an in-service at the for diversity at the FBI. And I told them, I said, Muslims, we actually believe that God has an intelligence system. It's the angels. They're recording everything. And then I said, even the telephone. Everything you say on the telephone. And, I tried to explain to them about Islam, that real Muslims, are people that are, the Prophet said, the Muslim is man salima nasu min lisanihi wa yadihi, that people, human beings, are safe from his hand and his tongue. That's a real Muslim. Muslims are supposed to obey the law. If you can't obey the law, you have to make hijrah. But this idea that you can just disobey the law, even civil disobedience, if you look at Theyre, civil disobedience for Theyre was not violent. It was not paying taxes. That's what he stopped paying taxes because they were going to war against Mexico. And he was put in jail. And Emerson came to visit him, and he said, Henry, what are you doing in there? And Theyre said, what are you doing out there? Like in an unjust system, this is a better place to be. But he wrote that famous civil disobedience, but it wasn't about violence or destroying property or doing these things. That's a type of madness. يُخْرِبُونَ بِيُوتِهِمْ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ وَأَيْدِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ فَاعْتَبِرُوا يَا أُولِي الْأَبْصَارِ. They destroy their own homes with their own hands. And Allah says, فَاعْتَبِرُوا يَا أُولِي الْأَبْصَارِ. think deeply about this. In the tafsirs, they say how crazy it is to destroy your own homes with your own hands. Like the place where you live, to destroy buildings. It's easy to destroy. It's very hard to build. Anybody can tear this down. But look how long it took to build, to do these things. This took a lot of time. One man doing all this work. But somebody could come in here and just deface it or blow it up, or that's very easy for humans to do. But to build, and then look at what it took to build you, and then to destroy that. What is that? So this is a serious matter.